Hello, everyone, and welcome back to CBJ Sports. You can watch us on YouTube every single week at the end of the week when we upload. We're on Spotify, Apple Music. We post TikToks every week, Instagram, Twitter, CBJ Sports. I'm Blake. This is CJ, Josh, and Billy. We're here every single week as Josh has already messed up his mic. As you can see, I messed up my mic as I'm holding this week. But the NFL draft happened Thursday through yesterday, and we're going to recap that, give us some of the best teams, best drafts, best picks. And the first is the best pick in the first round. And I'm going to start with maybe the best player in the first round. I went Kyle Pitts in Atlanta. I think, yes, they have Hayden Hurst, but you can't pass up on a generational guy like Kyle Pitts. He's the best tight end we've seen come through the draft in forever. He's an extra wide receiver. He's not the best blocker, but Kyle Pitts fits in Atlanta.
You want to go?
Yeah. Billy's going to like this one. I have Jalen Waddle. I think it gives Tua that playmaker when it's another Tyreek Hill. The ball's in his hands. You're going to win football games. I think that's what Tua needs in Miami.
I like it, but I actually went with Justin Fields. I think the Bears were in a situation where they saw how far he fell.
They were all going to get fired.
Yeah, they saw how far he fell, and they took the opportunity when no other team was willing to. And I think that Justin Fields will have a great career when it's all said and done. And Chicago's a really good fit with him. They got some good receivers over there. Finally, Allen Robinson's been really good for a long time, but he's walking into a pretty good situation, I would say. Maybe not coaching staff-wise, but talent-wise, other than Mac Jones, I think he's walking into the second best overall. So,
yeah, I agree with that one. I liked Elijah Vera Tucker going to the Jets. I really like that.
It's a good trade-up.
They have Becton over on the left tackle, having Vera Tucker, who I liked prior to this draft. I think he's going to be perfect on that right side, bringing Zach Wilson in, having that O-line rebuilt for him.
Yeah, I think the Jets had a really good draft as we move on to the opposite end of the spectrum, the worst pick of the first round. And I know a lot of you guys are going to hate this as cliche, but I really don't understand the ETN pick. I understand there's two running backs that could have went in the first round, and ETN maybe goes a pick or a couple later, but you have a Pro Bowl guy in James Robinson who just was top 5 in the NFL in rushing yards. ETN, I mean, maybe fits the system because Trevor Lawrence knows him and you don't know what offense Urban Meyer is going to run. But James Robinson is the same back.
They're running offense like they ran in Clemson.
They're not the same back.
Yeah, they're not the same back. Allen Robinson is more what's his name?
James
is more of a downhill runner.
I was listening
He was just as good out of the back.
I wouldn't call him a downhill runner.
But ETN's better out of the backfield, though.
James Robinson kind of last year reminded me of a Le'Veon Bell. Kind of was patient, was seeing the hole.
He can do everything.
He was great receiving.
I was watching the draft thing, and they said the Jaguars don't really have that, like, true playmaker yet, and that's what ETN is. Like Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. The ball's in their hands. They're going to win you football games.
So he's playing wide receiver for the Jags?
He's going to start for the Jaguars.
No shot.
Dude, if he starts over James Robinson, I will not
That's
be
a
happy.
Crime.
I promise you.
Okay,
start.
but the way I see it,
I wouldn't say start, but I see it as like a Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
I understand the double.
They're
but
going to
why
have a
in
great
the first
running
round?
duo.
Yeah, why in the first round?
There's so many other backs you can put with James Robinson in the third, fourth. Trey Sermon.
My only thing is you have so many other needs.
I don't think
that was my big problem. That defense is really bad.
I don't think it was a great pick, but I don't think it was the worst. My worst is Alex Leatherwood.
Let me rephrase that for you, Bill.
Alex Leatherwood was supposed to go in the second round. Not one mock draft had him going in the first round. Not one.
That was mine. Mine was Alex Leatherwood.
Yeah, he should have not been in the first round.
That's who I had. I think that was a really big
I don't think ETN was the greatest pick, but I don't think it was the worst.
I think I compared it with needs. It's like the Raiders kind of need offensive linemen, so it's kind of okay to reach for a tackle. Not the best tackle on the board at that time.
That's what I'm saying.
So, yes, a bad pick. But as we say, ETN and Leatherwood are our two worst picks of the draft. And under the radar pick for each round, we're going to go round by round and go around the board. For me, the first one is the Colts with Kadarius Toney. I think that's a really good wide receiver in the first round.
Giants.
Yeah.
The Giants?
Yeah,
Giants.
I got Indianapolis and New York mixed up. To the Giants, I think he helps Daniel Jones a lot. He's one of the best slot guys in the draft. I have a lot of wide receivers on this list for underrated picks, because there's a lot of good wide receivers in this draft. Kadarius Toney's like a Debo, which they had the NFL comparison on the draft. He's just a run-after-catch guy. He's going to help Daniel Jones.
I went with a guy that not many – you knew him if you're a big football fan, like you were just a big fan of the game. But I went with Zaven Collins, outside linebacker at Tulsa. They lost to Son Reddick, who finally had that breakout year playing that hybrid outside linebacker role. And that's exactly what Zaven Collins is going to come in and play. And I really like he fits the scheme there. He's a really good player. If you go watch his film, if you haven't, he's insanely good player. Outside linebacker, he's 260 pounds, and he runs like comparable to Montez
He
Sweat.
feels like Isaiah Simmons on the other side.
Yeah, they said that I had him as my sleeper or best pick for round 1 or sleeper, whatever it is. But he's like a chess piece, him and Isaiah Simmons. It's hard to figure out where they're going to be, but as soon as you figure out where they're going to be and how to play them, it's going to be crazy.
Billy's going to like this one, too. I had Jalen Phillips.
He's going with the
edge
Dolphins.
rushers. Yeah. I think some people don't think he was the best edge rusher in the draft, but like you said, you go watch his highlights. He's quick off the ball. He can get to that quarterback, and that's what you're going to need in the AFC East coming up here soon in a couple of years.
I think under the radar guys in this draft were the ones that weren't really talked about before the draft that teams moved up for or took, and it was a shock to people. Round 2, I have Rondale Moore to Arizona. I think Rondale Moore is another Christian Kirk for that offense. Me and Billy talked about Rondale Moore last week. He's top 5 receiver in this draft who kind of fell into round 2. And, I mean, Kyler Murray just keeps gaining weapons.
Yeah, I had Rondale Moore too.
I have a kind of a tie here. First one's not really a sleeper, but I just love the pick because in a couple years you'll see the dividends it pays, and I went with Kyle Trask. I mean, that's
a really good
talk
pick.
about walking into the most perfect situation you possibly could. He gets to stay in Florida. He's a hometown guy. I mean, there's nothing else you could say. And the other one was Creed Humphrey, falling completely.
Chiefs had a really good draft.
Late projected to be, I think, was a late first, early second. Falls all the way to the second to last pick of the second round.
Never allowed a sack. Never.
You're getting your franchise center for the next 10, 15 years, hopefully, in Creed Humphrey. And how he fell that far, the Chiefs got him. Great for them.
I got Elijah Moore going to the Jets. That's a really good slot receiver. He can play outside and give Zach Wilson weapons. And then he can play alongside with Corey Davis.
Yeah, if I didn't go down the board to Rondale, I think Elijah Moore was going to be my pick. He's really, really good out of Ole Miss. Day 3, I talked about him last night. Amari Rogers, not a Clemson fan by any stretch, but I know that he's very dangerous in the slot. With all the Aaron Rodgers controversy, I think that's a piece that Aaron Rodgers is going to like if he stays. I think Amari Rogers comes in and fills the void of not having that slot guy. I think he steps in and plays day 1.
That's who I have too. He's going to be a really good.
Once again, I have to, just because big draft guy. I love watching the draft. And the first one, Chad Surratt. I mean, a guy that a lot of people, especially if you're SEC, ACC right in there and just watch that Southeast football, you watched a lot of Chad Surratt games, and he was the glue to that defense. He held it together. He is a true leader, good athlete, and I think if they give him the chance, where'd he go? Vikings, yeah, especially in somewhere like Minnesota. That team could be really good. And then, of course, I got to give love to the big boys. Jalen Mayfield, tackle out, going to Atlanta. Somebody that a team that could really use some O-line help, and I think that's going to be a great pickup. Got him in the 3rd round, supposed to be a 2nd-round pick. I mean, just great value.
Yeah, I had Amari Rogers. Even if Aaron Rodgers is still not there, he's going to be a great help to Jordan Love.
Yeah, I think Amari Rogers is going to take that step from college. If he can stay healthy, I think he shows out. Number 4, a little biased, but I think it was a really good pick. Chuba Hubbard to Carolina. I think that takes off the heavy lifting for Christian McCaffrey. He was Christian McCaffrey in college, Oklahoma State, led college football in rushing in 2019, got hurt last year.
I'm talking to Josh.
Okay, Chuba Hubbard, I think, comes in. He takes that Mike Davis role, and when Christian's down, I think now Carolina doesn't have to worry about a running back. He just steps in and plays.
I have Chuba Hubbard down too. Just in case injuries, you never know. It'll be a good backup.
Well, it's just going to be a
for
great
teams.
2-back system, too. I mean,
Yeah.
he's going to play right away. But, God, I hate giving love to Cowboy fans, but I got Jabril Cox.
That
I
was
mean,
a
linebacker out of LSU, great value for your pick. I mean, he's going to be – who did they draft? They drafted Michael Parsons, too, didn't they?
Yeah, in the first round.
He's going to be playing outside backer then because, I mean, you got Jalen Smith, and I think Jabril Cox can either be that rotation piece, and if you're running a 3-4, can be that second linebacker, middle linebacker on the
Mike
field.
Parsons is going to be on the field day 1.
Yeah. It's –
I had Jalen Darden going to Tampa Bay. I think he's going to come in and play not a pretty big role, but I think a pretty big role.
Yeah, before the season, we put our sleeper draft picks, and Josh had Jalen Darden. I was in love with Jalen Darden.
Real quick, side note. Speaking of sleeper picks, when we talked about those, when I read that Peyton Turner was projected a 4th, 5th round pick.
I was like, no way. That's such a Saints pick.
And then 2 weeks later, night before draft, I saw an article that was like, why Peyton Turner can be a 1st round pick. And sure enough, the Saints are like, yeah, we want that. And I'm like,
That's such a team to take him. Cam
What?
Jordan, Trey Hendrickson.
what's the boy from UTSA?
Yeah.
They drafted Davenport or something
Yeah,
like that?
Marcus Davenport.
Trey's not there no more.
Yeah, but they
Oh,
drafted
yeah.
him. Marcus Davenport at DT. They're really big on defensive linemen early, and they proved it again, taking Peyton Turner out of Houston. As we move on to, round 6. Is that it? 5. I took Richard LeCount out of Georgia to Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns keep building that secondary. I think LeCount was the best player in that Georgia secondary. I wasn't high on Tyson Campbell early. I think LeCount came in and played really good minutes for Kirby Smart. That secondary was really good at Georgia. I think he comes in and plays minutes instantly with Denzel Ward on the other side.
I got Cornell Powell from Clemson going to the Chiefs. You
That-
lose Sammy Watkins. He's a really good route runner. I think he'll be perfect fit in there. In
Yeah, if
Kansas
I didn't
City.
put LeCount, I'm putting.
And I hate to keep giving you 2 around, but I just really like it. First one's Michael Carter. 5th round, projected the 4th best running back in the entire draft, and fell to the 5th round to the Jets, who really need it. I mean, that's going to be give them a year or two, and I think they could really be on the rise again, especially with that
I
coaching
think Greeny
staff.
said it good before Josh answers. Greeny said they did more for Zach Wilson in 2 days than they did for Sam Darnold in 3 years,
And real
which is kind of sad. But
Real quick, the other one, I'll just go quick on this one, was Sean Wade, cornerback going to
Fail.
Baltimore. Really good corner. I mean, he played great in the playoffs. Things just may not be an instant starter for Baltimore, but I like him in the future.
make him play with Chip.
Yeah, I had Cornell Powell going to the Chiefs. I think it would be a great replacement for Sammy.
Yeah, moving on to 6 round, another guy that, like Sean Wade, fell a lot. One of the best offensive tackles in football for 3 years at Tennessee. The Chiefs stealing Trey Smith from Tennessee. One of the best tackles, like I said, in college football forever. I think he fell because he was in trouble at Tennessee. If he can get the off-field stuff figured out, I think he works really well, and Kansas City figures that O-line.
I'm going with my sleeper pick that I had before the draft, and it's Daz Newsome from North Carolina going to Chicago. I think he's going to – he won't be – who's the receivers? I know he won't be top 2 receiver.
Right now, they're
Darnell, Al
yeah.
Robinson.
But
Yeah.
I think he'll be good enough where he can fight for a 53 spot.
I actually had Daz Newsome too. I like his game. He's as much as I wanted to go with Shi Smith because I love
That
Shi
was a really
Smith.
good pick, too.
I went with Daz Newsome just because I think the Bears could use that little bit of extra rotation help, and Daz Newsome could turn into a top 3 receiver on that team really fast if they give him the chance.
Yeah.
I have Marquez Stevenson going to Buffalo. He has great speed, and if Bills can figure out a way to use it, I think it's going to be great.
They use Isaiah McKenzie on jet sweeps, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the Bills had a really good draft. I think all of our teams did.
Yeah.
Moving on to the last round, guys that may or may not fill out that 53-man roster. I took a guy that I looked through the last round, and there's a lot of good guys in this last round, but I took a guy I got to watch. Hinckley, I sat in his house and watched BYU football. Kyrus Tonga. He's one of the best defensive tackles no one's heard about. He controlled that BYU defense and made him a ranked team with Zach Wilson leading the offense. A lot of people didn't talk about how good that BYU defense was. A couple years ago, they had Fred Warner. I mean, really good guys come off of that staff. And I think Tonga is a guy that comes in and he can be a Starla Tule guy. He's big, he's athletic, he's fast. He even ran the ball at BYU a couple plays. He's an instant game changer. I think he comes in and really helps that Chicago defense that's already good.
I got Presley Harbin the third going to Steelers. Dude's got a cannon of a leg.
It's like a long snapper.
I got Jack Anderson going to Buffalo, a guard from Texas Tech. I mean, I think he's going to go in there and fight for a starting job. But if you just look at this kid, he literally looks like Richie Incognito. I mean, the exact
I mean,
same
Buffalo
person.
loves him instantly.
I know.
I actually went with Phil Hoskins going to the Panthers, 7th round pick. Defensive tackle, I just think where he comes in, if he makes the roster, which I think he will, but big guy. And he's a one technique through and through, 6'5", 320 pounds. You need that goal line D tackle to come out on the
Replace
field.
Kyle Love.
Yeah, I mean, you need that big guy to come out and stuff the run on that 4th and short, 3rd and short. That's going to be your guy.
Yeah, I think that was a really good pick. As I said before, all of our teams, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Panthers, to me, had really good drafts and filled in needs. That's going to wrap up the under radar picks for each round. The next, who had the best draft? And I think my point is proven with the guys that we named. The Jets had a really good draft. I have 4 points. 1, get your QB. Zach Wilson's the best on the board. You take him. 2, trade up for protection in the first round. Your pick, Vera Tucker. I don't know how to say his first name. But a really good guard out of USC. They produce good offensive linemen. Number 3, a name you said, Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss. SEC top 5 guy, proven, lengthy, good route runner, can stay in the slot. I think he helps instantly for Zach Wilson. 4, rounded out with a first-round QB who fell to the 4th round, and Michael Carter, like Billy said, and also a second-round guy that fell all the way down to the 6th, and Nazardine from FSU, who me and CJ are really high on before the draft. I think they got really good value for the draft picks that they had. They're making a team that New York fans can be proud of. I think it's a good signs to come for New York fans.
I'm going a little biased here. I'm going with the Bills.
Okay.
We're 1 game away from a Super Bowl, and I think we took the biggest needs we needed was getting after the quarterback. We took 2 D linemen, and we went O-line to protect Josh Allen and get a run game going this upcoming season, and I think they did just that.
Like I said, the Bills definitely opened up their card and said, this is what we need, and we're going full in on that.
I mean, I went straight bias too, but I think it's more just for the sheer fact of, as Miami, you got in the first 4 picks, you got 4 starters instantly. Jalen Waddle's going to, I mean, that's a given. Same thing with Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips was a top 10 pick until he had him, if the medical issues weren't a thing. So I think that's a great steal there. And then you go and you get Javon Holland, who's going to be that slot nickel corner right there in that area who can take over for Eric Rowe or Bobby McCain, whoever need be, and he's going to come in and be really good really early. And then Lim Eichenberg, who was regarded as one of the better tackles in this draft, thought he'd go in the first round, and he fell all the way to, I think it was 46, somewhere right in there. So outside of that, I mean, you got depth in the rest of the draft. I just think we got what we needed, got a lot of great picks, starters right away, and I don't see how you can go wrong with that.
Yeah, I got Jets, but it can go with Buffalo, it can go Jets, it can go Miami.
All of us could have went bias. I think the Panthers had a good draft, getting man guys, what you need. The Bills they showed what they needed, and they went and got it. I made fun of it. They went 2 defensive linemen in the first 2 rounds, but if it's what you need, it's what you get.
Bills is probably the most team in the NFL that rotates their D-line like crazy.
Yeah, Ebenezer played a lot last year.
With Gregory and Boogie, they play the 3 technique, and Brandon Beane likes people rushing the quarterback from D-tackle.
Yeah, I can know that because I was a fan of the Panthers when we had Sean McDermott go in the Super Bowl. We rotated in Tule, Kawan Short. We had rookies come in and play instantly. Like Billy said, you can go bias on any one of these teams. I think all of us had good drafts. But as we move on, I think I had
last year
rookies to make the next leap. I went with a guy that didn't get a lot of play time, was hurt, Jerry Judy. We know what he can do. He's a really good route runner. He's a guy with Cortland Sutton, who he was a number 1 guy with Drew Lock. It really depends on the quarterback. I think Jerry Judy profits on a better quarterback, but if Drew Lock can figure it out at the next level, I think Jerry Judy's the most deserved to get through injuries and get a better leap next year.
That's who I had. I had Jerry Judy. He had a lot of drops last year. He had a lot of drops last year. He played really bad. I don't think that's
bad, but I think he had one of the better years especially better than the guy I chose. I chose Jalen Hurts, who really didn't play last year. Coming out, this is going to be his team this year.
Philadelphia believes.
It's in Philadelphia, but I think he's going to have the biggest jump, though, if anybody has the biggest jump.
Well, part of me wants to really say Jeff Okudah, because if somebody desperately freaking needs it, if somebody desperately needs it, it's Jeff Okudah. I mean, you could
have went both of them. DeAndre Swift too, fumbles.
Yeah. I think, and hopefully it's just a matter of he'll get into that new system and he'll actually, because I doubt that last coaching staff, Matt Patricia, was an absolute not nice word.
They're biting kneecaps this year, son.
Yeah, Jeff Okudah's out there biting kneecaps.
I mean, I hope he does good. I want to see Jeff Okudah do good, so I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, I think Jeff Okudah really needs to get better. He had a terrible season last year. All of those guys had bad years. I think I skipped guys you're most ready to see play out of the draft. I think Mine's what a lot of guys would say if you're a casual fan, Najee Harris. I mean, if you want to see anyone touch the football field and see if he's Derrick Henry, it's Najee Harris. He could be a 1,000-yard guy year one. He could be a guy you step out and go, oh, all pro, maybe MVP first year. It's like Najee's ceiling is just Hall of Fame. It's way up there.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle. I mean, like
Alabama guys.
you said, you want to see if Najee wants to be the next Derrick Henry. Well, I want to see if Jalen's the next Tyreek Hill. So, I mean, that's the most explosive guy in the draft, if you ask me. And I just want to see if he becomes that number one receiver we desperately need.
I'd probably go Trevor Lawrence, honestly. I know it's weird.
It's good. I want to see if he translates.
Yeah.
I went Travis Etienne. I want to see, just because everybody hated on the pick so much, I want to see him come out there, him and T-Law, two great buddies back in college, come out there and just have fun in there.
That's the first thing I said, though. It's such a good story. I love it for the guys that get to play with each other year one. It just didn't make sense to me. I mean, I understand it. 2 running back system. It looks good.
And that seemed to be the theme of the draft was reuniting. I mean,
Jamar Chase,
yeah, Tua, Jalen, and there was more. My brain's fried right now.
Devontae and Jalen.
Yeah, it's facts. Moving on to best young pass rusher. You can go a wide of different ways. A little biased, but I took 2. Brian Burns, I think, is the best young defensive end in the league. No one's stopping his spin move. He's proven if he can stay healthy, he can get 2-3 sacks every single week. He's just got to stay healthy. And the other name, I know y'all are hating on me for saying Brian Burns. I took Chase Young as my second pick. That's my non-biased pick. Chase Young is going to be the next great defensive end. He proved it in the playoffs.
All right.
What name am I forgetting?
Let me go.
I got Brian Burns, but I'm a little disagree with you on Brian Burns because you said he's proven. I don't think he's proven it. I think he's still hungry because he got shorted of a Pro Bowl last year. So I think he's still hungry. I think
I think everyone knows
have it
he
even
deserved
better
it.
here.
No, let me go.
What were we going to say here?
There's 2 brothers that are pretty freaking good at defensive end.
Okay, Joey Bosa's not
Nick
a young,
Bosa?
Okay,
He made
I'll
Pro
give you
Bowls
Nick, but not Joey.
Joey's still like 25.
Yeah.
But that's why I didn't go Joey. I was thinking like second, third year guys.
Oh, Nick Bosa got that in the bag.
He was hurt all last year.
He made Pro Bowl rookie year.
Okay.
He had, 11 sacks?
I would 100%.
Chase Young was a Pro Bowler his first year, and
Chase Young didn't deserve it.
Yeah,
I
thought he
Jeremy
didn't
Chin
deserve
definitely
it.
deserved it, but Chase Young got it. So it's in his award category.
Yeah, but Brian Burns should got it.
I'm not gonna say Chase Young's bad.
Let's be real though. I mean, Chase Young didn't deserve Defensive Rookie of the Year, but he got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I said. He didn't
Because the name's attached with
Nick
it.
Bosa deserved it.
I just don't. I'm not saying
We're
like
gonna
any
finish-
of those guys are bad. It is a
Yeah.
very partial
I mean, yeah.
question. Is
If we
Top
come down
guy.
to
All
it,
3
if
of
we
those
come down
guys
to
are
it,
elite.
Nick Bosa's better than Chase Young, without a doubt.
Dude, you have to agree on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say
We're
Chase
talking-
Young. I'm not saying Brian Burns. He's not
I
as
like Brian
athletic.
Burns.
He
I'm
doesn't
gonna
have
stick
the
with Brian
moves.
Burns because I love Brian Burns.
Brian
But
Burns has the better
Do
moves.
you
Yeah,
not
give
consider
him
TJ Watt a
Well,
young
they
edge
both
rusher
play.
either?
I consider
he's-
him more of an outside linebacker
Well, I
because he
mean,
plays
He's
both.
considered outside linebacker.
Yeah, I don't. He had what
still
16,
a-
17 sacks.
Still
TJ
an edge
Watt.
rusher. He
TJ
still
Watt.
had double-digit sacks.
He's young, talented, very good. I think.
But
TJ
there's a
Watt.
lot of guys that you can
Yeah,
go either
yeah, it's
anybody
just your
can
opinion.
argue.
Like I
with
said
it.
before I started,
So-
I think it's a little biased. Say I went Brian Burns, but Josh said Brian Burns.
Yeah,
so,
I like
mean,
Brian Burns.
Brian Burns is really, really good. As we all know, if he stays healthy, he's going to be elite. This is, we just had our first big argument of the day, but our next one is coming up. Who will have the better career? My guy, CMC, or Derrick Henry? I will start it off as we already have
Blake, I will
last.
put you in the toaster if you say it.
Christian McCaffrey, and I don't think it's close. He has a 1K a year. He's a better receiver. He runs through the tackles. He has better vision. He's not big like Derrick Henry, and he plays bigger than he is. Yes, he was hurt last year, but it's the first time he's been hurt in his entire career. His resume has more. He's not going to get 2,000 yards because he has 1,000 receiving yards, Billy. But he's overall better in every aspect.
First off, before I say anything, you know I love Christian McCaffrey. You know he's one of my favorite running backs in the league.
And it's no slander towards Derrick Henry.
But no words. I mean, it's just like.
What do you mean no words? There's no
I
You
think
can just tell me he can run over people better.
Career, though.
Listen.
When I'm going better career, I think Derrick Henry because he's going to rush for the 1,500 yards almost every year.
by the end
Why
of
can't Christian McCaffrey get
I know
1,000
this,
rushing
but
yards and
by the
900
end of
receiving yards?
by the
every
end
year?
of their both of their careers, I think Derrick Henry will have a shot at being the greatest running back of all time.
I'm not saying he won't.
Yeah, no, I don't think Christian McCaffrey would get to there though. That's what I'm saying.
That's what makes this argument so hard. They're
Derrick Henry,
not two
all right.
different styles of running back, but Derrick Henry's just getting HB dive every play, and Christian McCaffrey can line up in slot and get a slant pass and be gone 80 yards like he's Devontae Smith.
Derrick Henry has 2 Pro Bowls already. Christian McCaffrey has 1. They both have. Wait, I'm tripping. Oh no, they both have 1-time All-Pro. Derrick Henry won Offensive Player of the Year last year. Christian McCaffrey don't have one yet. Average yards per carry. Derrick
we
Henry
can argue
average
that one first.
average yards per carry. Derrick Henry has 5 yards per carry. Christian McCaffrey has 4. Derrick Henry has 3 1,000+ yard years in a row. Last year, going for 2K. 2018, Christian McCaffrey had 1,000. 2019 had 1,000. 2020 had 200.
I'm just gonna step in and say this is hard to argue because this is like the Lamar
They're
Josh
two
Allen
different-
argument.
two
Yeah,
different
two
guys.
totally different types of players. Derrick Henry's not catching the ball out of the backfield. That's why they have a
Zero
second
shot.
running back to do that. McCaffrey is, but
Everything.
Derrick Henry is gonna run for triple the amount of yards McCaffrey is.
Because he gets more carries.
But it's just that's why it's like it's hard to argue that.
I don't.
But
That-
who's gonna have the better
no.
career? Who's gonna be remembered? Derrick Henry's gonna be remembered.
That point right there, I think, is a good standpoint for me. Derrick Henry has a guy that they bring in to receive the football. That's why Christian McCaffrey was hurt. He literally does everything in every aspect of the game. He can line up in slot. He can go HB dive like he's Derrick Henry and pound for 5 yards if you need him to. He can run out for a swing pass and get gone and stiff arm you into the dirt like he's Derrick Henry. He can do everything that Derrick Henry can do. And more.
The way, at least that I'm perceiving, is do I think the Panthers could make a Super Bowl without Christian McCaffrey?
No shot.
Yes. I do. I think.
I don't have a running back to do that.
Tom Brady's still playing.
Okay, let me put it this way. Do I think the Panthers could make a playoff run without
Yeah.
Christian
Yeah.
McCaffrey?
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Do I think the Titans could do it without Derrick Henry? No shot. No
That's
shot.
a good point.
That's what I'm saying. Derrick Henry's gonna be remembered more at the
Yeah.
end of his career than Christian McCaffrey will.
I think it all depends on who. See, that's hard, but they're both really young. They're both going to get a lot of awards. I think both of them could be MVP guys. Both of them are going to get a bunch more All-Pros. They both got to stay healthy because Derrick Henry's getting a lot of reps like Christian McCaffrey was the last few years, and we haven't got to see Derrick Henry be hurt yet. I think Christian's going to bounce back. I think both guys are going to be top 10, top 15 guys at the end of their career. I'll agree with you. I think Derrick Henry has a better chance to fight for one because he's gonna get up there in rushing yards if he stays healthy.
I mean, he's gonna rush for 1,500 yards every year.
I definitely agree with that. Moving on to the NBA, it's been really crazy the last few weeks as we get closer to playoff time. But what team can be the Heat from last year and go from a 5th seed all the way to the NBA Finals? And I'm gonna stay in the East. I think the Celtics, if they can put it together, can make a run. Jason Tatum is a superstar. We all know. Jaylen Brown has proven he's grown a lot. I mean, they have Brad Stevens, who's the best coach in basketball to me. Tristan Thompson has gotten a lot better down low, and Peyton Pritchard is a rising star in basketball from Oregon. I think this team is just – they have the guys to get there. They just got to show up in the big moments. Whenever you line up against the Celtics on a night-to-night basis, they can beat any team in the league. I think they have the coach, they have the players. They just got to show up, and they can be that team.
I got Celtics too. They have pure talent. They have a lot of talent on that roster. It's just they haven't totally put it together. Yeah, they haven't put it together yet.
I'd go with the Celtics too, but I'd go with the Pacers. Are they in the playoff run right now? No. I'd go with the Pacers. You got Chris LeVert, Zambonis. You got all them guys.
They just don't have that guy.
Yeah, I know. But I think you just got to go in there to the playoffs, play with a chip on your shoulder, and you just got to, I don't know.
They're a team that could dog through the Heat.
Man, I don't want to be the Mr. Depressing, but when I go and look at each side, I don't think there is one. I mean, I know it sounds kind of bleak and depressing, but those top 3 teams in the East,
it's gonna be really hard to take down that
the Nets, the Bucks, the 76ers. Those I just don't see any. Even the Celtics, they don't have that.
No, dude, we're
You're
losing.
saying Jason Tatum's not that guy?
You're saying
Oh,
this-
he's that guy, but he's not.
Oh, he's that guy, Billy.
He's not
60.
He's not Embiid.
I mean,
He's not.
I'm glad you think Sixers are getting past the first round.
Yeah,
He's not Kevin Durant.
I hope
James
so.
Harden.
Jay,
I don't see a guy.
Jason
we gotta
Tatum's
think Jason-
almost there.
We got to think Jason
Yeah,
Tatum's
no,
only
he is-
21.
He's almost
yeah,
there.
he's really close. Don't get me wrong, but
I-
when it comes to playoff time,
Oh.
and those stars take over.
Jason
I mean,
Tatum,
here's maybe the greatest playoff moment in the history of
Yes.
basketball. Bodying LeBron James.
And
ending
yeah.
his career.
and said chest bump. I'm here.
Get off me.
18 years old.
Rookie.
It's. I mean,
Come on,
yeah,
Billy. You know you want to say Celtics?
No, I don't. But
You do.
I mean, it's cool. Jason Tatum goes and drops 40, and then you look up and you're like, oh, KD's dropped 50. You're like, oh.
You can go Lakers. They're not a high seed right now.
Yeah, but Celtics,
Ain't good. Lakers are like fish seed.
Yeah, dude, Los Angeles.
but Celtics could have the talent. I'm not saying they're going to knock off the Nets, but they could.
I'm gonna say this right now. I know it's off
They
topic.
got the talent.
But I really hope the Suns make it to the Western Conference Final. That would make
Such
my
a
year.
Nuggets team from last year. I'm starting to give you more credit with a Chris Paul take. I think that's going to come back up later in this topic. But I think Chris Paul is silently carrying that team to one of the best seasons in Suns history. As we move on, let's see. What's wrong with the Pelicans? I mean, I said that with a sigh because there's so many. I have stats right here. Josh Hart averaging 9, Zoe with 13, Steven Adams 9, Jackson Hayes 10. You want to guess who the two stars are averaging? 27 and 24.
Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, Zion and Brandon Ingram with 27, 24. The other part of the team have to step up. The defense is absolutely abysmal.
What's Lonzo averaging?
13.
I
That's
all those
Lonzo.
highlights
That's
on Bleacher
Lonzo,
Report,
though.
he's averaging 13.
Lonzo's not good. He's not that player that's going to average 20. It's about his.
I have
right
it.
there.
Why they are the way they are is 'cause they're young. Their two biggest stars are 20 years old and 23 years old. They have 10 players under the age of 25. They have no experience. So I think they're just too young, and I don't know. It's just too young.
Need to bring. I think it just comes down to bringing in some vets that really gel with that system. Bring in some good mentors. Bring in people that they can really. Except Brandon Ingram, I think he's
ready.
yeah.
He's there.
Yeah.
But
Zion's there.
bring in somebody that complements the like
A guard. A veteran guard.
then
Like a
yeah.
Rondo.
Chris Paul.
you guys.
One more year, Chris Paul, run it back in New Orleans. You get one more shot.
Yeah,
Like
can you take it to the playoffs?
bring in a good stretch forward off the bench behind Zion.
I see B.I. like on his knees. Please say we do playoffs, Mr. Paul. I think
The
they're-
Pelicans go undefeated.
I think the Pelicans have the guys to be good. They've got to fix the defense, maybe better coaching. As we move on to best backcourt players under 25.
I don't want to.
Point guard, I think it's easy. Under 25, I'm going with the guy Josh loves, Luka Doncic. I think he's the best point guard in the league at that age, under 25. I just don't see another guy being a top.
Wait, are we
I
going best?
thought we were going team,
Yeah,
best
team.
team duo
Like
or
duo.
backcourt.
No, I just backcourt
Oh,
players. Point
I did
guard.
best.
I separated them.
I
You
did
can
best
do that.
team like duo. I had
Oh.
Charlotte.
Yeah, that's
you
what
got
I'm saying.
LaMelo, Devontae Graham, and you got Terry Rozier. And
That's what I
I
had.
have them as
That's
the
what I'm
best
gonna go with
team
anyway.
backcourt.
I have LaMelo. Terry Rozier's 27, but still young. But you can go with Devontae Graham too. But I mean, both really good point guards and shooting guards.
You want to go?
I mean, good thing I don't prepare for anything. So whatever Blake says, I go with. I mean, I want to go with Luka, but
Under 25.
Vince Carter.
I know LeBron's 40, but
Part of me,
Take a future
just so I don't say Trey Young. Oh, well, just
Messed
so
up and said it.
just so I don't say Luka, just so I give a different answer. I think Trey Young's not crazy far behind. Luka is a MVP in the next 2 or 3 years, but I just like Trey Young. He's really knows how to spread out the floor, and I think they bring him in some help to really bring that team together. They could be really good in the East.
Moving on to the other position in the backcourt shooting guard. I know y'all really took the Hornets duos. I went D-Mitch. I think he's a proven superstar. He's carrying the Jazz. What's his third year out of college in Louisville? He's proven. I think he's the best shooting guard under 25.
Yeah, Vince Carter. No, yeah, I think it's D-Mitch. I like D-Mitch a lot. I think he's really starting to come into his own, being that leader and that star of that team. And seems the other players are really gelling with it too. So, I mean, I don't see how it couldn't be D-Mitch.
Staying in the backcourt, point guard. This has been a conversation for a long time as he grows older, and we've even argued about him on this podcast and previous podcast. Chris Paul, All-time point guard, is he top 5? And I think that
Yes.
sets up for a really top 5 debate. And I went 1 through 4, Curry, Magic, Big O, Isaiah Thomas, and it came down to 5 for me. And I had CP3 or Steve Nash. And it really came down to accolades and what you want out of a point guard. I think it's very opinionated. And I know you guys are probably going to take Chris Paul. I have to go Steve Nash, one of the MVPs. He has 2 of them. One of them I'm going to give you to, not deserved. Kobe Bryant should have gotten it, but he has them. That's the point. He won 2 MVP awards. He's proven. He does not have a finals win. He averaged 50, 40, 90 3 times, averaging 10 assists or more per game. If he doesn't deserve it with the accolades, I think he makes it up with stats as he matched Chris Paul in point guards every single year, year by year.
Chris Paul he's 11-time All-Star, 4-time assist champ, and 6-time steal champ at point guard. His
Not taking the glove.
His
over
lowest
Steve
average
Nash.
of points throughout his career was 15. His highest was 22. He averaged 20 his rookie year, and I think
Chris Paul's the better
I think his
scorer.
lowest assist was 11 or 12 throughout his career. It was
Yeah,
something
I was
like
going through. I was looking at a bunch of different lists, just looking at other people's top 10 point guards, and almost all of them had Steve Nash at 8 and higher.
But
None of them had Steve Nash at 5, but all of them had Chris Paul at 5, if not 5, 6.
I look at
So
it
yes,
like
I think he's a top 5.
Steve Nash. He's probably one of the best passers to ever play the game.
I-
He really is.
It
But
came down to the MVPs. He's
Yeah.
proven he's the best player in the league. Chris Paul has never done that.
I think
And he did it with Kobe and guys in his league.
there's LeBron.
Okay, Chris Paul never proved he was better than Bron. So he never got an MVP.
Chris
I'm not
Paul,
comparing
but Chris
them.
Paul's not
I'm-
like that. Though. Chris Paul's a little different.
Steve Nash was Curry before Curry.
But to me, Chris Paul perfected the pick and roll. Perfected
He
it.
was the best lob
100%.
passer
Chris
to
Paul's
ever come
yes.
to the NBA.
To me, Chris Paul's just the golden example of
Yeah.
what a point guard is and
Yes.
should be. So, I got Chris Paul at 5. I think Chris Paul is.
I think I really went off. It really just came down to MVPs for me.
Did y'all see the statistic? I can't remember what it was posted on, where every team that Chris Paul has ever played for has gotten better that next season.
Yeah.
He definitely makes his team better. I'm not arguing
He's a
that at all.
true-
I think where he really proved is when he went to OKC. That team had no right being. They were a lottery team without a doubt. Chris Paul didn't even want to be there, and he stayed there, and they're in the playoffs.
I think he's a better player development than a coach is. I think he helps every team get better.
Knows the game.
Yeah, I think Chris Paul.
That's why I think.
I think
someone-
he's deserving.
Yeah, someone like Pelicans could definitely use Chris Paul right now.
I think Chris
That's-
Paul is deserving to be in people's top 5s. I went Steve Nash really off stats. As we move on to MLB, I'm going to skip the Dodgers and go to best young pitcher because I really don't care about the Dodgers. Best young pitcher. I went Shohei Ohtani. That's a biasy pick. I'm in love with Shohei Ohtani and the way he pitches. But I also went Jesus Luzardo from the A's. Are we arguing
No,
Shohei
no,
Ohtani?
go.
No,
I didn't know what you said. I thought you said hitter. I
no.
was about to argue that.
Both of them.
No.
He can do both. He can hit tanks. He can have 8 strikeouts. Shohei Ohtani is proven. Jesus Luzardo is getting better. and
Okay,
better
I wouldn't say
today.
Ohtani's proven. Ohtani's
he's-
not-
yeah,
yeah.
he does struggle sometimes, but
Yeah, every pitcher
As a hitter,
struggles.
as a hitter, he's proven. As a pitcher, he's not proven.
I think he's went out in the last 3 outings. And
Yeah,
pitched
3
great.
outings. He hasn't
All right.
played a full season. He hasn't pitched a full season since he's been in the majors.
my pitcher. I got the obvious. I got DeGrom at pitcher. He's pitching a .5 ERA. He's giving
DeGrom
up-
isn't really young.
I say, how old is DeGrom?
We're doing young pitchers.
Yes, it's
Best young
pitchers.
pitcher.
I have Shane Bieber as
What
my
did we do?
best young
Skip the
pitcher.
best hitter and pitcher right now?
Yeah, best young.
Best
Under
young
25 or under.
Jeez. You could go Jesus. Jesus.
Yeah. Jesus Luzardo.
Quit it. I actually have Shane Bieber with Josh. That kid is just coming to his own as an ace and one of the best pitchers in the AL year in and year out for the past 2 years. So, he's proven.
Yeah, shut up, Billy. As we move on to CJ.
Already got an AL Cy Young to his name. So,
I get it.
Mickey Mouse.
CJ already told us his best pitcher, but best pitcher and hitter in baseball. Best pitcher in baseball right now, I went Corbin Burns, 49 Ks, 1.53 ERA, and it's 2-2, which is not the best, but I think he's did enough this year to be recognized as the best pitcher in baseball. Hitter, affiliate because I hate it. I went JD Martinez. He's hitting 351, 9 home runs, 25 RBIs. He is carrying Boston to a positive record. He's being clutch when they need him to be JD. He's that silver slugger JD again, and it's proven with the Red Sox being 16-9 or 15-10, one of the two.
I'm gonna go with any hitter in baseball. It's gonna be Acuna.
That's second for me.
He's batting at 348. He's been batting 300 all year. He's got 32 hits, 19 RBIs, and he's first in home runs right now. I think he just tied it or upped it last night.
Oh, best pitcher in baseball. It's not even close. It's freaking Jacob deGrom, and it's not even in the same stratosphere.
Oh, so that you're taking?
Yeah, best pitcher. Yeah, I like Jacob DeGrom. But best hitter. You're talking about JD Martinez. I got Mike Trout. He's batting a 429 right now.
I mean, I think at any moment you can go Mike
I
Trout.
think saying best
Oh,
hitter.
baseball, Mike Trout. I want him.
I think saying best hitter in baseball is kind of tough right now because there's so many guys
I
that
think
are.
there's 3 guys.
You can even go.
I think there's 4.
You can go Yerman Mercedes.
No,
Dude,
I think there's
he's
3.
kind of cooled off for the past week.
yeah, he's only an MVP race.
I think Mike Trout, JD, Ronald Acuna.
Yeah, you're forgetting a name that's hitting about 380 right now.
Garrett Cole.
Xander Bogaerts.
Byron Buxton.
Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Byron
I'll give you that
Buxton,
one.
who is absolutely torching the baseball right now.
Yeah,
Always
even
been
though
known
it's
as.
He was like, "Oh, I want to hit home runs this year."
And he's like, look at me. I actually. Hey guys, watch this.
I know, yeah.
But yeah,
Dude,
no.
out
I
of
mean,
nowhere, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna tie, or I'm gonna be in first with home
yeah,
runs." I'm a
Barry
lead
Bonds
off
gave me
hitter.
this special juice. He didn't tell me what it did, but he just said, just put some in your arm and you'll be great.
Hold my beer.
Oh, my beer. I mean, Byron Buxton is playing really good. That is a name that I forgot. As we move on to the NCAA as football slowly approaches past the summer, is this the year that we all pray and hope for as college football fans? Not from y'all, but is this the year Clemson falls?
Just say Gamecocks.
I think this is
No.
the biggest year. I mean, it's really hard not to say
No.
no. But if any year it's going to happen, it's got to be this year. Sam Howell was in his last year to go to the draft. Mac Brown got his recruits ready. North Carolina has got one more shot to do it.
They lost. I'm pretty sure most of their receiving core and their 2
They had a
star
top 5
running backs.
recruiting class,
Okay.
and they have a 5-star.
Well, I don't think
No.
they're gonna take over the ACC or whatever you want to call it. I mean, Clemson's.
This is the biggest regroup.
Clemson's
had
getting
in a
Justin
long
Ross
time.
back. He's about to be fully healthy. You got Frank Ladson, I think that's his name. DJ, I think will be
Lot of young
just
guys.
fine.
All right, here we go.
It's not
No,
the biggest
end of
re-
discussion.
Clemson's.
Yeah.
I know
It's
Clemson's
not the biggest
defense didn't
rebuild
play
for
that good, but you
Clemson
got
because
starters
yeah, they
coming
lost
back.
T-Law, but when Christian
He lost
Wilkins
a
and all
lot.
them
He lost
left,
a running back.
yeah,
2
but when Christian and all
receivers.
them left, that was the biggest.
That
loss
defense
for
isn't
Clemson.
proven. We saw what they did in the playoffs in round 1.
Yeah, it's not good, but
They have to step up.
I will say this. I
But
do
it's
think
not
they're going to be
decent.
much more of an
yeah, but
air
it's not
raid
gonna be
team
a
this year.
huge downfall. Clemson's just horrible.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
Well, that's a downfall.
if a team's going to beat them and knock them off the top of the ACC, I
Alright,
think this
well,
is the
Yeah, I
That's
think
a
you
better
were. I think
question than I-
downfall was
yeah.
worded.
Yeah, Clemson's
Should've
not
said
on any
downfall.
downfall.
Yeah, say
Any
downfall.
fall
Never
off the face of the
return.
earth.
Oh God.
Downfall is like UAB, no more football.
The defense is going to work things
That's
out
downfall.
because it's
What?
No, I was just saying that's downfall. UAB, no more football.
yeah, that's a downfall.
I want you to take this
Emerson
program.
dies.
over here.
Moving on to best college pass rusher of the last decade. I searched up stats all night long, and every inch of my body wanted to be like, "Oh my God, Jadeveon Clowney."
Trent Murphy.
But I went and stayed in the SEC, not in the SEC at that point. But Von Miller at Texas A&M had 17 sacks as a junior, 13 as a senior, and a 2-time All-American. And when he was at Texas A&M, he was the best pass rusher to come out of college in forever. And he proved it at the next level. But even at college, he was Texas A&M's entire defense. I think Von Miller deserves the title.
Does decade mean 10 years or 20?
10.
And,
And
What?
Vic
Von Miller
Beasley.
was 2007. wasn't
Vic
it? His first
Beasley.
year?
Vic Beasley Jr. had
That's why I didn't
130
put Von
career
Miller. Von
sacks
Miller was like
in 3 years.
2007.
2010. I searched
No,
last
yeah,
night.
no, he
2010
went
was his last year when he got drafted. I
Who?
think. Von Miller. But his biggest
got
season in
drafted.
college was
He got drafted in
2009.
2011, right? Dude, yeah, it was 2011 because, Buffalo took Marcel Darius.
Yeah.
I
He's
had
right on the
I
clip.
had Aaron Donald. I think he had a great college.
Yeah, I had him, but I also had Vic Beasley.
Vic Beasley.
130 career sacks in 3 years. I don't think anybody's doing that. I don't think that's going to
Jaden Clowney had the best hit ever.
He also had a very bad
Odell had
Yeah, he
sophomore
got
and
sad
freshman
because
year.
we already knew he
No,
was
I'm
going to
kidding.
be number
Big
one
Busy
pick.
didn't have 130, but he had 30 sacks and 48 tackles for loss. You can go. I went
Really
with Aaron
good
Donald too. He had 30 sacks, 66
Big
tackles
Beasley
for
is
loss.
like in the last
It's-
decade he was like number 6.
I was
on
looking
the
at
list.
most of them. They're all the stats are kind of the same. They're all around that 30 sacks mark. I think the most was Ryan Kerrigan. I think he had 34. I don't know, but I don't. You can go with anybody.
Billy, say Jarvis Jones.
Billy, say some dumb
No,
stuff.
I'm looking up the stats to make sure I'm not like.
See,
Straight
at first I
tripping
was
right
going to
now.
go strictly talent, and I've never seen anyone play like Jadeveon Clowney, but that was like he doesn't really have a stats to match up, but he sat his junior year to be the number one pick. So we'll see where Billy goes.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at a list, and they had Joey Bosa as their number one. I'm like,
No.
that doesn't make sense.
That
Joey
dude was
Bosa-
hurt in college.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm like, why does it had him at number one? I swear. I don't have a pick. I'm gonna be honest. I just want you to hear these stats for the number one college D end ever. As a junior, 3 games, 11 tackles, 6 for loss. Hey, give him that. 11 tackles, 6 for loss. That's a great average. 4 sacks. Man, a stud. Like,
Okay, Billy goes Joey Bosa. Let's go
Hey,
make
Billy.
an Instagram post for that.
with the cap.
Bro, that list is off Wish.
Yeah.
That's a little.
I wanted to go with
DH
Myles
game.
Garrett though. That's what I wanted to say. Just not off basically off stats, but just I remember him playing against South Carolina, and
He was dominant.
oh yeah,
He
where
came a
is
year after Jaden Clowney to smash his records.
Yeah, he beat all of Atlanta's records.
Yeah, Myles
I
Garrett.
was-
That's when I was because Von Miller was good at A&M, but when I think A&M defensive end, the first name that comes to my mind is Myles Garrett.
I was
Every
gonna
time.
go with Mario Williams from Miami too. He was right on 2010, I think.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good pass
Yeah.
rushers in the last decade. Not as argumentative as our wide receiver one last week when Josh put Michael Floyd on the list at 1. But
Stats, bro.
still as fun as usual. After Devontae Smith won the Heisman, what wide receiver can do it again? I stayed at Bama. I think John Mechie III is that guy at Alabama. Bryce Young needs a guy to throw to. And if some wide receiver is going to do it, might as well stay at the college. John Mechie's going to be a first-round wide receiver in a couple of years. I think if anyone wins it, it's got to be him.
Yeah, like you said, a couple years, but right now, Justin Ross is the next guy, receiver, that could win it. 'Cause I could see Clemson coming out this year, DJ with a strong arm, just airing it out to Justin Ross all season long. Justin Ross is I looked. He's potential the number one receiver in this coming up draft or next year's draft. He's gonna be the number one receiver to take.
I went with Justin Ross too. He's gonna be fully healthy, but I also had John Mechie. We've seen what he can do as a freshman. To me, John Mechie and Justin Ross were right there with each other.
Yeah.
It's hard to
What?
say because
Huh?
it's hard to say
Huh?
honestly because
Justin Ross had a better
Mechie's
freshman
young. I think
year.
Justin Ross
you
did
gotta
not
get-
had a better
I think
freshman
you gotta give
year.
Mechie another year.
You want to pull up stats?
Pull up the stats.
No, pull them up. You got a computer. Pull them up right now.
You connected to Wi-Fi?
I don't know. Billy, go.
What are you looking at?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Billy, you're not prepared for anything.
Like I'm gonna smack the hair back in
You
place.
have to go Ross. Mechie,
It was early
next
today,
year-
too.
Next year you go Mechie. This year you gotta go Ross.
I just don't know. Like
I almost went Chris Olave. I was like, no.
Who?
Chris Olave from Ohio State. I was like, no.
Who's gonna be their quarterback?
That's what I said. I was like, no.
I don't even know who their quarterback's gonna be. I really don't.
I was like, yeah, we're not doing that.
Give me a second as I search up John Mechie's stats. Justin Ross had 1,000 on like 46 catches.
And Natty. I know they have one too.
916 on 55 catches and 6 touchdowns his freshman year. I didn't even check. I don't think Justin Ross's sophomore year. He didn't play a lot,
Yeah, he didn't
obviously.
play.
I think
No, he didn't. Last
No,
year,
he didn't, but
he didn't
play.
play at all.
Yeah, he
No,
didn't
last
play.
year was the sophomore year.
yeah, he tore
His
his ACL.
freshman year, he had
No, he had some back contusion or something.
46 receptions for 1,000 yards, average of 21.7 yards.
Which
Had a
he-
good year. It's really all if he can stay healthy.
I mean, yeah.
I think that's
Fully
a big
healthy.
injury to come back from, especially at a wide
He's had
receiver, be
that.
able to run routes.
He's had that back problem since he was little. And he just got it fixed, so I think he'll be fine.
I think that's the question for a lot of people right now is if he's going to stay healthy. Argument questions that no one except me has seen, and the first one is best college QB ever. I think
Tim Tebow.
this has been argument for a very long time. You can go back to old Colt McCoy, Cam Newton now, Tim Tebow then,
I'm gonna be real,
Deshaun
Blake.
Watson now.
You're here about to not hear us argue about this at all.
Yeah.
Tebow.
You have to go Tebow.
Yeah.
That
After
dude's
Tebow,
now a tight end.
Yeah, Tebow. And then after Tebow, I'd probably put Deshaun.
I mean, after Tebow, I'm putting Cam for what he did for Auburn. His story through college, I think he proved.
One's
I like
second,
computers.
There's a bunch. Sam Bradford.
Davis like scraps.
I think Tim Tebow had the best college.
Pure college career.
Yeah.
Sam Bradford,
I will
not
give
Tim
you that.
Tebow.
I will agree.
Connor Shaw.
Tim Tebow.
Hey, don't you dare
Hey!
that Connor Shaw.
Coach Shaw had a way better college career than Sam Darnold.
Hey, are we forgetting about Sam Mills?
Yeah. Davis Mills from
Oh,
Stanford. What? He just popped on the big board, and I was like, when did he play
Hey, Brian
football?
Nathan Peterman went to the ACC championship.
Hey, beat Clemson or their kicker.
Next topic. Rank them. Pretty much, I'll go start bench cut for this one. D. Mitch, Devin Booker, Zach LaVine, Jaylen Brown. Actually, there's 4, so we'll rank them 1 through.
Oh, I'm
we
cutting
gotta
2
rank
then.
them?
Oh, stop.
Wait, you got what?
We're going to go 1 all around the board. I'm going to
Alright,
repeat the names. Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, Zach LaVine, Jaylen Brown. My number 1.
Wait, no, do 4 first, moron.
Wait,
Okay, we'll go 4 through 1. I'll start at 4. 4 through 1. I'm starting at 4. Jaylen Brown. He doesn't have the stats to
Yes.
match up with the rest of them.
Yeah, I think
Y'all
we
agree on Jaylen
all
Brown
agree
at
on
4.
that one.
Levine. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, number 3, Devin Booker. He has the All-Star, but he matches with Zach LaVine. I think Zach LaVine has more stats. He's the better shooting guard. Zach LaVine is the better shooter overall. He's carried a team longer. Devin Booker's not carrying that team at all. As we've said, Chris Paul is the reason that
hang
team
on.
is good.
He just said Zach Levine's a better shooter.
He is.
Dude, Blake.
Zach
Blake,
LaVine's
come
not
on.
carrying
I
that
know.
team
I know.
either.
Zach Levine. plays
He
for the
is
Bulls.
carrying that team.
I
Not
know
now
that,
because
but
he's hurt.
oh my god.
Okay, so y'all
I get
putting
it,
Devin
it's Zach
Booker at 2.
Levine, but
No,
Zach
round
LaVine
3
is
still.
way-
Round 3 still Zach LaVine.
Zach Levine's
So y'all go Zach LaVine at
4.
3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Zach Levine's 3.
Okay, I have Devin Booker at 3. So y'all have Devin Booker at 2.
No.
I have Zach LaVine at 2.
I have Devin Booker at 1, you moron.
Yeah. D. Mitch is 2. For me.
Donovan Mitchell is a superstar. Devin Booker is not a superstar because he dates Kim Kardashian or whoever he's dating this week.
Say Ken?
Yeah, the Barbie Kim. Devin Booker is nowhere in the realm of Donovan Mitchell.
Don't say
he
that.
He hasn't been to a playoff.
Don't say
he
that.
He hasn't.
Don't say that.
Tell me the points Devin Booker
First in the
averages
West.
in the playoffs.
First in the West.
0.
First in the West.
Now
You're about to see it. You're about to see it. 30 a game.
Shoot 3 for
30 a game.
57.
30
Who
a
does Donovan
game.
Mitchell have?
What do you mean? Who does he have?
He's
the
had a better
team.
team.
He's been
Yeah,
the
but
team
he's had
since
a
he
better team
drafted
than-
there.
he's had a better team
A
than
better
Phoenix.
team. 30-year-old Joe Ingles shooting threes in the corner, and I'll give you Rudy Gobert. That's about it.
Okay, now tell me who Devin Booker's had since he's been in the league. Before Chris Paul.
They've drafted
Nobody.
everyone. DeAndre Ayton. They had Kelly
I'm saying they're
Oubre
all just super
before.
Stop.
young. They haven't been identified
Don't say
yet.
stop.
DeAndre ain't got suspended his rookie year.
Exactly. The team's.
Okay, nobody's been there to help him.
Oh, Devin Booker hasn't done anything to make the team better.
Hey,
Rookie Rubio.
you want to talk about
We're really saying Donovan Mitchell is not better
even,
than Devin
You said they're
Booker.
not even in the same realm. Donovan Mitchell, 26, 4, and 5. Devin Booker.
I made this argument last
20.
year. Devin Booker took way more shots than anyone in basketball
26,
last year. That's
4,
why he
and
was an
4.
all-star. He shot, what, 33%
They have
from three
identical
last year?
stats. Identical.
Devin Booker is nowhere close, and he never will be to the
That-
athleticism
stop.
and the basketball player
Stop.
Donovan Mitchell is.
Stop.
Donovan Mitchell is the leader of the Utah Jazz.
Stop.
He's 3. Dude, no way in any realm I'm taking Devin Booker in a fantasy draft over Donovan Mitchell.
If Blake didn't get roasted last time, he's putting Russ at number 2. So
What?
we all know you would put Russ up there.
What are you talking about? Where?
I mean, we're talking about
When's
It's
Yeah.
a shooting guard debate.
This is
wet like I'm booked. Yeah.
You're
D. Mitch
the
Hold on,
most
I'm about to-
dumbest people
Is D. Mitch in a Drake song?
I've
No.
ever met in my entire
Let's
life.
see.
Is D. Mitch in
We're
a-
not watching the same
Is
basketball.
D. Mitch in a Drake song? No.
Dude, oh my god. Is you best friends with Ben Simmons and playing face? Oh, my.
Oh, by the
I'd
way,
take D-Book all day.
No shot.
as of right now, this year, let's see.
D-Book's balling.
D-Book is balling this year.
He's been balling.
No, not been balling.
Came in the league at 19 years old. I think it might have been
19 games.
No, it wasn't 18.
Von Mitchell came in at 24.
So,
He's old.
No, he's not. He's 21.
Devin Booker's shooting 49% on the year.
Amazing.
Donovan Mitchell is shooting 43.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. We're going off percentages to say.
Oh, no.
That was your argument.
You just said, he shoot 33%.
that was your argument.
Don't say that.
And every
was
other
your
year,
argument.
Don't say that.
I
Don't
just
say
said
that.
Devin Booker's playing good this year.
Yeah, but you said we're going to go off percentages.
So that's
He
why
got
we-
Chris
that's
Paul
why-
passing the ball, get him open. Chris Paul's a really good point guard.
Okay.
Okay, that's why we got him.
I know
at
that,
number
but
one.
we're
That's
arguing.
what's making the team better.
Okay.
Not Devin
Oh,
Booker.
so
know
if
that.
Devin Booker wasn't on that team, they'd still be first.
They
in the
would
West.
still be 19-game wins with Devin Booker averaging 30 because he takes all the shots.
So you still put him up there?
Yeah.
No, not putting him up there. Not putting Devin Booker up there. Devin Booker's never proven to me that he's going to do anything. He's never taken smart shots in crunch time besides
no.
in the bubble. That one shot, the fadeaway against PG.
He's got 3 this year.
3 this year. Name them.
I don't know the games, but
Yeah,
I've seen
exactly.
them. All right, name D. Mitchell. Go ahead.
We saw it in the Western Conference playoffs last year against Jamal Murray when he had 50.
We're talking this
Who
year.
won that series?
Okay, the Nuggets won the series because they have Nikola Jokic, the best center in basketball, which I proved to you last week.
But we got Rudy Gobert.
Now, Rudy Gobert, I'm not
He
arguing
was
Rudy
playing
Gobert.
here every year.
Okay, Nikola Jokic is better. That's not the argument.
Look, all I'm saying is this: my top 4 goes Brown, Levine, Mitchell, Booker. That's all I'm saying.
Period.
No
That's
shot.
it.
No shot.
Yeah.
I don't think Devin Booker's efficient enough to be with Donovan Mitchell. As we move on to best dual threat QB ever in the NFL, and this should get even more interesting because I'm going to go ahead and throw mine out there. No one will ever be the best dual threat quarterback because Cam Newton's already done it. He's the best passer out of the running quarterbacks. He's 6'6", 230. You can
6'5".
walk away all you want. You can't name a quarterback with the stats and accolades Cam Newton has, or the passing stats that match him. Say Mike Vick right now, and I will bash you.
Bro, he's a champion.
A champion. He's never did anything in the playoffs. Never helped
No,
Atlanta
I'm
win
talking
football
In the
games.
backyard.
Yeah, playing flag football. That's where Mike Vick excels. Name a better. Name one. Name one. I want one name.
I'm just not going to say anything.
Name one.
No, because I don't want to hear you cry about
Name
it.
it.
I'm not. Going
None.
with this
You're not
topic.
naming one. You're not naming one because you can't. Exactly.
No, I can. I just don't feel like hearing crying for the next hour and a half.
No,
No,
name one.
facts.
Name one.
Say it.
You can't. Exactly.
We're all
Exactly.
Listen, we're young. We're all young, and we just can't forget what. What's his name, dude? Hang on.
Talking about Cunningham.
Randall Cunningham, Dante Culpepper have done for the game of football. They started dual threat.
because they created.
They
it, they're the
started
best.
dual threat.
Because they created it. They're the best. That's what we're rolling with.
No, that's not what we're saying.
Okay, so give me a name, Billy.
Dual threat?
You can't.
Let's look this one in. I'm actually curious. Best dual threat
Give me one, Billy.
QB
Give him one that has a Super Bowl.
in NFL.
Yeah.
'Cause
Give me a team
we put,
accomplishment.
because we put people,
Give me a team accomplishment.
Hey, we put people with MVPs above everybody, I guess. So just give him a
He's
ring.
proven he's the best player in football.
Who?
Cam Newton.
Right now?
No,
Oh.
my God.
Oh.
I can't argue with you because none of you have anything to come back with.
No.
Nothing.
It's-
Nothing. I laid down the argument and you have nothing to say.
Dude, because you get to
You
ask
be
the
crying.
questions. This is questions that we didn't get to hear before. Yeah, give us time. All right. You said he's the best passer. He has 31,000 yards passing. So I'll give you
Dual
that.
threat.
Okay. What?
Frank Tankerton had 47,000 yards passing.
Tarkenton.
Tarkenton, sorry. 342
Man,
touchdowns.
look at who's number 1 on that list.
Mike Vick is number 1 on this list.
Mike Vick is nowhere near Cam Newton. And any passing,
Oh, my God.
being able to
I'm
throw
just
the
gonna, I'm
ball.
just gonna name stats. I'm not arguing. I'm not saying anybody. I'm gonna name the top 5 on this list. I'm gonna name their stats. Michael Vick played 13 seasons, passing 22,000 yards, 133 passing touchdowns. Rushing 6,000 yards, 36 touchdowns. I'm just gonna skip to Cam Newton just to compare them to. Passing 31,190 touchdowns, rushing 5,070 touchdowns. And then we'll go to Fran Tarkenton. 47,000 passing yards, 342 touchdowns.
Look, this
4,000
I've had this
rushing.
argument with a lot of people. I'll give Mike Vick the running side. But to be a dual threat, both sides have to match up.
all I'm gonna say is this: I will give Cam Newton the single greatest season by a dual threat quarterback,
Career.
but I will not give him the career.
Yeah, no.
Best
will
dual
not.
threat career ever.
Will
he came
not.
in the league being a really good passer out of Auburn. His rookie year, he shattered rookie numbers. I mean, and then he just grew as a runner. I mean, we saw the MVP year. We saw the year before. I mean, he's gotten a lot worse throwing the football over the year as he's gotten older. But when he was in his prime, I mean, no one's the better dual threat. No one's standing at 6'6", 230, running the football and throwing it 50 yards.
I hate Cam Newton, but like it's kind of hard to argue. Like
I don't know. I think Michael Vick wins that.
No,
you
man.
can go.
No shot.
Yeah, kind of go either way, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to argue.
Sure.
And they're not even in the same realm.
I think most people nowadays.
Did I say that, Billy?
Yes.
No, I did not.
Most people
Not
now
one.
You
listen.
said it's not even close.
I said it's not close. I never say he's not in the room. I said he's a better runner.
That's practically
I
what
said
you
he's
said.
a better runner.
No, you did say it wasn't
I
close.
can say Lamar Jackson's a better runner than Cam Newton right now.
Yeah.
He's not a better passer.
I've
Make
always
it a
told
dual
you,
threat.
Lamar's a running back.
A dual threat. That's the question.
I think if we did a tally vote on like Instagram or something, Michael Vick's gonna win it.
Oh, who's gonna cover him, man? Who's cooler? Yeah, he's gonna win the popularity contest because you have no stats or anything to back up Mike Vick. He didn't take Atlanta anywhere. He did nothing for the city of Atlanta for win football games.
I'd give to Cam Newton if he would have jumped on the fumble.
There we go. Yeah, everyone laughed. No stats to back it up. No argument. Nothing. There you go.
My God.
That's how this works. That's how everything works. Arguing with
Bring
him.
it back.
No argument. Nothing. Just jokes. There we go. I like it. No in any stats.
Well, because we don't have time. I mean, you just sprung
Yeah,
it on
no
us.
stats.
We can't get stats.
Yeah.
We're springing it on
Glad
us.
we knew that one was coming.
Next question.
You don't have to have stats. You have to have
Next
an
question,
argument.
let's
You don't
go.
even have that.
It's not
hard to have
close.
an
Who
argument. You
meant
don't
more
have
to
stats.
their team, Kyrie's Cavs or Kawhi Leonard's Raptors?
Kyrie Cavs. What? Oh yeah, he didn't win the the finals for him.
Dude, who were the Raptors before Kawhi was there?
They're making the
second round
playoffs.
exit to do
They're-
to
yeah, I
LeBron.
was say they're making the playoffs every year. Kawhi got them that extra step though.
Kawhi meant
But if
more.
you look, I just look at that finals.
yeah,
I know
look
LeBron
at-
had the block, but Kyrie had that shot. If you go look, what series was it? I think it was just like game 2 and 3 and all that.
I'm not there for the highlights.
Yo, he's upset because that he knocked out the 76ers with that fucking double doink.
Billy. When's the last time Bulls made the playoffs?
Hey, see, why are you bringing up the Bulls?
Because you just brought up the
No
Sixers.
one ever has arguments. I'm done arguing.
All right, let's
I-
go.
I think-
Josh,
come
but I'm
on.
not arguing.
Come on.
I think Kawhi
No,
was
come
the
on.
heart and soul of that team. Kawhi was the only.
We're
without
talking about
them,
with LeBron, right? Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. He had another superstar with him. Who did Kawhi have with him? Fred
Kyle-
VanVleet.
Kyle Lowry.
Rookie Pascal Siakam.
4 All-Stars that
He
year
had
on that
nobody
team.
with him.
Pascal Lowry.
Not that year.
Kawhi and Serge Ibaka. Yes, he did. Go look it up.
Dude, he didn't have superstars. He had LeBron, who's considered one of the best players to ever play the game.
That Raptor team was good.
And we're talking
one
about
of
Kyrie's
us.
one shot he had. That's what you said. Dude, that one shot he had? Woohoo!
They're in the playoffs. He still played
Okay,
good. He
one
averaged
shot.
25
Kawhi
seconds.
carried that team the whole year.
Yeah, Kawhi night in and night out was the team.
And then we'll talk about Kawhi's one shot to knock out Sixers. There's just one shot. But then he also had the
All right, don't bring
season
up that
to
shot
back it
then.
up.
That's one shot.
Yeah, but stats wise, you can't even argue. I mean, even to
I know
what,
that,
the-
but
what they
Kyrie's-
meant to the
What
team.
has he averaged his whole career?
You
25,
can kick Kyrie
7?
to freaking Los Angeles
He's averaged the most
and let
dribbles
LeBron
in
stay
one
on that
season.
team, and they're probably still in the finals. You kick Kawhi off that team, they're not even in the first round.
Yeah. You can say they're a playoff team, but they're not the Raptors that year without Kawhi. They're not them. You take Kyrie out of there, they still got LeBron. LeBron takes his team to playoffs every single year.
There's no way you can argue that. There's just
That's what I'm going with.
I'm going to put my opinion out there. I'm with y'all. I think Kawhi meant more. Without Kawhi, I think that team is
Yeah.
literally dog water.
Thank
But I will still never respect Raptors fans for freaking laughing at KD when he tore his Achilles.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I like
Oh
that
no, that's
team,
just a little sidebar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
Canada
hate
for
it,
you.
yeah, nice people. That will wrap up CBJ Sports.
Come on,
Hey, you started killing, man.
We are on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube every single week. We try to post TikToks when we can. We should have a lot this week with clips on Instagram. It's definitely been fun this week. A lot of argument questions. At the end of the week, at the end of the day, we love you guys that listen. Make sure you share, retweet, spread the news. We'll see you next week.
Go Bills.
On CBJ Sports.